In February 2008, Hope McClendon's daughter gave birth to a baby girl. They called her Mira. Unfortunately, Hope's daughter had a history of drug abuse, mental illness, and she was a prostitute. She had been committed immediately prior to the birth of the child and almost immediately thereafter. So as a result, the Child Protective Services folks here in Fort Worth, Texas, said that Hope McClendon, the grandmother, needed to raise little Mira. She accepted that wholeheartedly. On August 29th, 2008, probably out walking the streets as a prostitute, Hope McClendon's daughter was tragically struck by a car and killed. Because Child Protective Services had put Mira in the custody and protection and care of Hope McClendon, her grandmother, Hope proceeded to do her job and do it well. In February 2010, a man named Devery Gladney and his mother Naomi went to the Texas Attorney General's office. They took a piece of paper with them with a forged signature of Hope's deceased daughter and claimed that Devery was the father of little Mira. They had the birth certificate changed. They had the child's last name changed to be Gladney. They went to court, and a judge by the name of Jerome S. Howigan gave immediate custody of little Mira to the Gladneys. Now, Hope McClendon challenged this right here in the Tarrant County Family Law Center with Judge Jerome S. Hannigan. She arranged for a handwriting expert to testify that the signature on the document that the Gladneys used was forged. She had the notary allegedly used prepared to testify that she had no record of having notarized the signature of Hope's deceased daughter. And Hope McClendon also arranged a DNA test, and unfortunately the court approved that. She wanted to be able to prove that Devery Gladney was not the father of her grandchild. On September 13th, 2010, right behind me here in the Tarrant County Family Court Center, Judge Jerome S. Hannigan ordered Mira to be delivered to Devery and Naomi Gladney. Ignored the handwriting expert, ignored the notary, and didn't even allow the DNA results to be announced. He simply gave the child to the Gladneys. Now, there is an interesting story behind Devery Gladney. He had been the live-in boyfriend of Hope McClendon for a number of years. But a year or two prior to him taking this action with his mother to try to obtain custody, the relationship was over. He was not around Hope or little Mira. As Hope would later learn, Devery Gladney, while living with her, was also having sex with her teenage daughter, the one who was later killed. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram came to Hope McClendon's rescue, she thought, did a Freedom of Information Act request in order to obtain the DNA results. Hope McClendon's granddaughter, Mira, was court-napped right here by Judge Jerome S. Hannigan and the actions of Devery Gladney and Naomi Gladney, two people who weren't even related to the little girl. The little girl lives with them yet today because nobody will do what's right. There are a number of changes that are needed in the family court laws in our country. The single most important one would be to have trials by jury in the family court. This will eliminate the biases of judges, the corruption of judges, the corruption between various attorneys and judges, between Child Protective Services and the variety of people who treat the family courts as a big gigantic slot machine that pays off every time they pull the handle. We need to eliminate judges making decisions in these matters. Truthfully, we need to do that in virtually every court, but especially in family court. Things like this should not be allowed to happen, and when they do, those victimized should have a place to go, other than the courts, because the courts won't do what's right. They need what we're proposing at Lawless America is a special regulatory grand jury to be set up in counties across America, where when someone gets wronged like this, they have a place to go. And 23 citizens can vote and decide what should happen. If that was done in this case, Mira would be living with her blood relative grandmother where she belongs, instead of with a man who has had sex with young girls, at least one young girl, and who very well may have done this just to get his grandmother a little baby girl. We have to change the laws. This is criminal. Families and children and parents and grandparents are being ruined every day by the family courts in America. It's time for it to stop.